the hooks out, I realized that the head is so big that this fish is over 1 meter for sure. And of course, in that point, I see that it's a super fat fish as well. And then I realized that this might be actually over 15 kilo.
Okay, hi and welcome to another episode of Time is Fish podcast. As you can hear, I'm speaking English, and it's the first time for me doing an English podcast, and I hope you will like it anyway, because today's guest, I'm afraid he doesn't speak Swedish, or at least not so well, so we'll keep it in English, and I hope you enjoy it. Today's guest is my colleague and teammate Hannu Vesaranta, and he is mostly known for his giant sanders, his unbelievable scores when it comes to competition fishing, and he is it's just crazy the amount of big fish he's caught. He's caught sander of over 15 kilos. He's had averages in the biggest competitions in Finland of roughly 120 centimeters. And the list just goes on. So because I'm in Finland right now, I'm going to film the third season of European Fishing League. And this time, like the last year with Hannu, I just thought that we had to make a podcast so you guys can know him a little better and hear a little bit about his amazing stories about big fish. And on the ferry on the way here, there was a super nice guy working at the ferry, and he stopped me and talked a little bit. And he asked if I was going to fish with Hannu again in the EFL. So I said, of course I'm going to fish with Hannu. Do you know him? And he just said, no, but everyone in Finland, they know Hannu. So basically, Hannu Vesaranta, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel.
Tjenare kompis.
Tjenare. Jag inte talar svenska så bra.
So you can see. He knows what he needs to know in Swedish. So yeah. How are you, Hannu?
Yeah, I'm fine. We are having a quite nice evening at the cabin, middle of forest in Finland.
We're far out, in the middle of nowhere.
Doing some training for EFL.
Yeah.
Having a great time.
I just arrived with the ferry today, so I picked up Hannu and we drove to one of the places that we're going to compete, and we managed to get out a couple of hours, check out the spots and do some mapping. Just took it easy.
Yeah. We didn't have many hours time so today is the first really training day.
Yeah,
full training day.
Yeah, so we're gonna be training for what, like 6 days?
Yeah, 6 or 7 days.
Yeah. So it's going to be a rough week, so we thought that we'll do the podcast the first evening before we get too tired, and also we're going to spend a couple of evenings in the tent without electricity, so it's not going to be doable, and hopefully we're going to make a good episode for you guys here and see what happens. So, Hannu, I have these candies I bought at the ferry. I had an episode with Mikko Seppinen, where I gave him jelly beans, the horrible kind. And since I went on the ferry now, I could buy them again. So I was nice enough to do that for you.
Yeah, I actually know those candies, and they are not that nice. It's a horrible taste if you pick the wrong one.
Yeah. And actually, this is just a refill package because they didn't have the actual game. So I just poured them out on the table here. And basically, you're going to be able to pick a color, and we'll hopefully I get the good one and you get the bad one. So they added 2 new tastes to this bag. It's liver and onions and old bandages.
Yeah, this one is quite bad because it's 50-50 bad and the good ones. The one I tried before, it was like 1 of 5 was bad taste or something like that.
Okay,
so
okay.
This one is bad.
Yeah, this one is bad. The one me and Mikko did was also like 50-50. It was horrible. He actually puked 2 times during the podcast. And it's now when I think about it, he's also Finnish. So I might have some kind of fetish for torturing Finnish guys with disgusting stuff.
Seems like that.
Yeah. I don't have anything against Finnish people, but it seems like it. So I'm not going to feed you them right now. We're going to do it soon. First of all, you're working in a fishing shop.
Yep.
And how long have you been doing that?
I have been in different shops in Finland, 6 years maybe.
Okay. And how old are you?
27.
27, yeah. And now, since last year, you actually started your own company also, right?
Yeah, it's more about the guiding.
Yeah. So you're also a guide now.
Yes, I do many kind of guiding.
Yeah.
In Finland.
So it's like tailored fishing trips that what type of fishing? Is it mostly sharpshooting and live scope or?
Well, many people know me about live scope fishing. So of course, many people want to go live scope fishing with me, but there is also a lot of perch fishing without live scope, a lot of zander fishing without live scope, and asp fishing as well. So it's more or less like 50-50 with the electronics or without.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's good for people, if they're a little bit curious about live scope fishing and sonars and stuff, because just getting into sonars is it's a big deal for people. So it's perfect to be able to go out with someone that really knows them and really get to learn the basics.
Yeah, it helps a lot if you are starting to try out the live scope fishing.
Just to get a kickstart.
Yeah, big step.
And where in Finland do you live?
Nokia City.
Nokia, yeah. And are you born and raised there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have good zander fishing all around, good pike fishing, close to the archipelago. How did you start your fishing career? How did you start fishing?
Well, it was basically worm and pole, and my dad took me fishing. I think I was 3-4 years old or something.
Okay.
And since then I've been fishing a lot.
Were you did you fish all the time through your when you went to school when you were 10 to 20?
Yeah, always been fishing a lot. I can remember after the mid school and stuff like that, I always jump on my bicycle and go fishing.
Yeah,
almost every day.
That's funny.
So the passion has been there quite long.
I can remember very clearly when I was 14, and because we always took our bikes to school, and then we always went over a canal in Sweden called Göta Kanal, and it was really good perch fishing there. That's where I did a lot of my fishing when I was young, and in the springtime, the perch spawn.
Yeah.
So when you catch the males, when you unhook them and they start shaking, they can start spraying semen all over the place. Yep. So, when you're 14 and you come to school with semen on your pants, and you're like, no, it's not me. It's someone else's semen.
Yeah.
So, not really the cool type of kid. That's not who I was. I was the kid with fish semen on my pants. The basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Yeah. So, your father, does he still fish?
Yeah, a lot.
And he does he do live scope fishing and stuff like that?
No, it's more about the normal jigging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But mostly fishes for perch.
But do you ever take him live scope fishing and stuff?
Yeah, a couple times, yes, and he caught the personal best zander right away.
Yeah, but it is a different thing when you can chase the larger zanders living in the pelagic water.
Yeah, it's a different way to approach a big fish.
Yeah, and especially zanders. They're hard to, if you want to catch a big zander, it's very difficult with other techniques than electronics, because they live in a way that's very different from pike or perch, and they hunt in a different way. It's very, very difficult to catch a big one. Yeah,
for sure. It's a quite difficult species without the electronics. Since you can see it on the screen how precise you have to be with the lure and how slow you have to retrieve it to get the bite, so it's quite hard without electronics.
Yeah, because trolling is otherwise a good method, but you still have to get the lure straight in front of the fish, and you have to present it super slow. And the chances of actually catching a fish using that is very, very, very small.
Yeah, it's quite slim.
Yeah, it's easier to catch the smaller ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
basically, if you're trolling, you need, at least what I think, you need the perfect window that they strike and follow the lure quite long way, like react quite far, stuff like that, to make it possible to have fish, like big fish, trolling.
It's I think that's something that made me really enjoy learning about sanders when I started fishing them. It was that they're so different from other fish.
Yeah.
The way they are passive aggressive and the way they strike, the way they wait for the bait to come in the right area and stuff like that. It's a big difference from pike or perch or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Real psychopaths. Okay, but before we head on and talk about, I have a couple of stories I want you to tell and talk a little bit about the surroundings of them. But before that, I wanna give you a candy. What do you say? A piece of jelly?
I can skip this one. You can take 2 of them.
It doesn't work that way. You can pick a color. That's how much I can give you. And you're not going to take the blue one because that's toothpaste. So I took them all out because that's not even a bad taste. It's like a mint. So what's that?
This one, the green one.
Okay, so that's basically juicy pear or booger. Okay.
What is booger? I don't even know.
The one you have in your nose.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good for me. I have such a small nose. There's not. There doesn't fit a jelly bean there.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Cheers, man. Oh my god. So fucking. Oh. It's such a strange taste.
You have to shallow it.
Yeah. I think
It's
not. Did you also get the bad one?
Yes.
Yeah. It's really bad, but
this is not good.
It's
the taste is not that good.
No, it's really disgusting. But it's actually better than there are much worse in this pile. I can tell you.
Yeah, I know it. There is some ones I definitely cannot swallow.
Oh, okay.
This one is still doable.
Yeah.
Not nice, but doable.
Ugh. Oh. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, this was bugger. Oh, what was the name?
Yeah, booger. Bad. Oh, but not Mikko Seppänen throw up bad, but it was bad. Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about. Let's start with the competition fishing, and then we can talk a little bit about specific catches after that. I want to talk a little bit about your giant 15-kilo sander, and also you have a really big pike that has a cool story around it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about those. But first of all, competition angling. You do you've done Sander Pro 2 seasons.
Yeah.
You've done. This is the 2nd season of EFL.
Yeah, and I've done Predator Masters and Pike Masters when it comes to formats.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Hawk Open, Ahven Open.
And let's just, because Hawk Open is the biggest pike competition in Finland. You can fish basically any water you want in Finland during 2 days.
Yes, correct. And the Ahven Open is basically the same.
For perch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
how many teams usually are in the competition?
Now it's around 1,500 boats with the Hawk Open. I think the Ahven Open is I'm not sure about it, but maybe 700 boats or something like that.
That's a lot of boats.
Yeah. Basically the whole Finland is fishing, almost.
You said that it doesn't matter which small lake you visit during the competition. There's 4 boats there.
Yeah, always happens.
Yeah.
At least with the Hawk Open.
It was crazy. The guy I met on the ferry, he was going to compete in the Hawk Open. And today we saw people out probably training for the Hoka Open because it's next weekend.
Yeah, it's coming up in 5 days or something.
Yeah.
And many people are training. You can see that when you drive the car on the road, all the time you see boats.
Yeah.
When you go fishing in the lake, you see boats. So definitely know that Hoka Open is coming up.
It's cool that it's grown and become so big. And I know the first time I saw the scoreboard of the Hoka Open, I was just mind blown by the scores. I mean, even though, of course, it's easier if you can go to any water you want and use electronics. Of course, it's easier to catch pike than maybe on a competition where you're on the same lake.
Yeah.
But still, the results are amazing.
Yeah, the level of the competition, it's quite high, and there is a lot of good teams fishing there and catching a big pike. 5 of them, actually.
Yeah. And you have won the Hoka Open 2 times.
Yeah, correct. And once we end up second place.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually I've been there 4 times, and if I remember right, it was 6th or 7th place, the one.
Okay. So that's a really good average for you also, but what's even more impressive is the average. Like, if you want to win the Hoka Open right now, what average would you need?
It's always around 120.
On your 5 longest, you need 120 average.
Yeah, close. It doesn't always have to be 120, but really close.
Yeah.
It's always like that if you want to win.
That's crazy. In 2 days, catching 5 pike with an average, it's just mind-blowing. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is quite high-level competition.
What is your best result in that competition?
5 meter, 95 centimeters. So it equals 1 meter, 90 centimeter average size.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So, but how do you pre-fish for like Hoka Open? Like, how do you find those crazy waters?
Well, you have to spend a lot of time on the waters. And of course, this Hoka Open is always up to you how much you fish in your free time. So you have more spots to try on the competition. It's quite difficult to win it from one lake. You have to have like several lakes that has 1 or 2 big fish, and then you just have to cut them. It's usually like that.
This is crazy.
Yeah, once we won it from just one lake, but that's the only time. And the rest of the competitions I have been fishing on Hoka Open, it's like picking up big fish from a lake, like 1 or 2 big fish, and then change lake.
Okay.
So it's based on quite a lot of training. We used to spend 1 week on the lakes before competition.
You have a really also very special way of fighting the fish when you catch them.
Yeah, well, I think the best way to land everything is just use big hooks, use stiff rods, and pull the fish in the net fast as possible. Don't let the fish turn, because if it's hooked badly, like only one hook in the nose or something, if you let the fish turn, it's most likely gonna fell off or something. So that's it. For me, it has been quite good when we get fish in the net. Of course, not always, but almost every time, even it's hooked badly with that technique.
It's very special. Like, it's kind of a little bit American how they fight the muskies and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah, but
cool.
we figured out it's a good way to land more fish. So that's the reason why we do it like that.
And your experience in the Oven Open?
Yeah.
You've also done quite well in that?
Yeah, I have done the competition 2 times and won it 2 times. So
that's
quite nice.
That's a good average.
Yeah.
But you told me also that fishing it was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, really difficult fishing.
Tell us a little bit about how it was fishing the Oven Open when you fish for perch.
Yeah, so basically it's my fishing in the first year in that competition. It was Well, quite small lake, crystal clear water, and a lot of big perch in the lake. But we have these terrible conditions: no wind and only sun, and that competition is middle of the summer. So that's not a good combination. So the fishing was horrible, and well, the result wasn't horrible, but there was a lot of work behind that result. We ended up fishing like almost around the clock. Slept.
Like, no sleep?
Yeah, almost like maybe we slept like 1 or 2 hours and then just fish.
For 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. And on that spot, you basically have fish on the screen all the time. So you don't have to take any time to finding fish. You have it all the time on the screen. So think 10 hours fishing, casting with light scope for perch, and you don't have a single bite. And you have the fish on the screen all the time, so it's kind of exhausting.
And you're just like taking one cast, switching baits, taking another cast.
Yeah. And when it comes to competition fishing, for me, I'm quite serious about it. So I tried my best and changed the lure every cast. No bites.
For like 10 hours.
Yeah. I almost wanted to cry. I never forget that day. So, and we had this like 20 minutes more active windows in the morning light and evening light or something, and the rest of the day was no bites. And quite long days in the mid summer in Finland.
Oh crap. It's a long day.
Yeah.
But what was your result after fishing like that?
That year we had like it's a competition of 7 perch, and we had like 47.7 or something like that on the average size that year. And the next year we had even better result, like 48.5 or something like that, with the 7 perch average size. So
that's crazy during 2 days. But that's what it takes. Like when you hear about it, it's like it's difficult to do that. The psychological aspect of seeing them and they're not taking and just keep on fishing. It's like,
yeah, before the competition you have to get the right mindset.
Yeah.
So you can pull it through. Like, it's not easy.
That's what it is. It doesn't matter what competition it is. Like people that win, there's always so much dedication. Like sometimes someone could be lucky, and of course in every competition you need a little bit of luck. But the dedication it takes to win is it's very, humbling. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Those competitions, they have quite high level of fishing. So there's like, you basically have to give everything you have to win it.
Yeah.
If you want to win it, you have to give everything. Like, basically, don't sleep, fish, and do the best you can.
And then go home after those days and sleep for several days.
Yeah.
So what is it with competition fishing? Because it doesn't sound so nice, actually. When someone that doesn't compete hear this, they might think that sounds really bad, like jelly beans. What is it with competition fishing that you love so much?
Well, every fish is different. If you compare it to your own free time fishing, you are more glad about the fish you caught. And if you have a big fish, well, for example, I caught quite many meter fish, pikes, and when I have one in competition, it can make my legs shake.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice feeling. Yeah, you can't get the same feeling free time fishing. So
no,
it's more emotional.
It's cool because just as you say, like in a normal day, a 90 centimeter pike is fun, but it doesn't really matter so much if you're fishing for a big one. But during competition, like it can mean everything.
Yeah, it's different.
How long have you been competing in competitions?
Not many years actually. Maybe 4 years or something.
You've been competing hard those 4 years.
Yeah, I've done quite many competitions, and before that I felt like kind of I'm against of competitions or something.
Yeah.
Just don't want to try it. I don't want to join any competition. And then once my friend took me with him to actually Hawk Open. We won it. And I never forgot the emotional stuff during the competition, so that hooked me up right away.
Yeah.
Since then, I've been doing many competitions.
I bet, and also when you win the first time you try it, it's easy to get a good feeling.
Yeah, that was one of the best fishing days ever.
Cool.
Never forget that.
Was there any special fish? Like, why is...
Yeah, it was actually the Hawk Open, so we got quite big fish. I had my personal best on length that time, 129 centimeter pike in that competition, so that was quite nice.
Quite nice, yeah.
yeah, really big.
Pike.
Yeah, really big fish.
Do you know how much it weighed?
Yeah, that was a quite skinny fish, like 11 point something.
Okay, an old bastard.
Yeah, a long fish.
Yeah, a good competition fish.
Yeah, perfect one.
But you have caught a longer pike.
Yeah, two of them actually.
Yeah.
I have one 30 centimeter and one 31.
And we're going to talk about those in a little while. But first, since I started to compete, I feel like my personal fishing has also gotten better. The more I learn about competition fishing, I get better in my personal fishing.
Yeah, I
feel the same.
Yeah, I feel the same. Competition fishing evolves your own fishing in the best way, I think, because you think more, you do try to fish better all the time and figure out new stuff and try everything you can. And sometimes you figure out something new. It's definitely a good way to evolve your own fishing.
For sure. One of the coolest things I've learned through these YouTube competitions, it's because it's also, of course, normal competitions, but I've learned so much in the past couple of years. Like, it doesn't matter how bad you fish, you can always catch fish somewhere in the lake if you do it right.
Yes.
Like we've seen so many times, like several teams, and a lot of teams, all of the teams are really skilled anglers, but you can see them struggling and they're not catching anything. But there's always one team that catches them, and they're in the same lake. So that just means you're not fishing good enough.
Yeah,
there's always something you can do.
Yeah.
Like it feels sometimes like, oh, the fish weren't biting today, or
it just means that you don't know something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
but then you have to think what's wrong, and I didn't figure out something.
That's it. It's not the fish that are not biting. You're not fishing good enough.
Yes.
And that has motivated me. But it sucks sometimes when you're at the lake and you're not catching anything, and you can just think like, okay, I know they're biting somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah, the feelings when it comes bad, when it comes to good, the both are like quite extreme.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about competition fishing and stuff. They're very extreme, the feelings. But that has motivated me, and I think that's really cool because there are actually no bad days. There's just bad decisions. Yeah,
you can think like that. It's usually like that. You just, if you have a bad day, you just didn't figure out the day's fishing, how to fish.
And the cool thing about the YouTube competitions, because when you're in them and you have a shit day, then you can, when you meet the guys afterwards and they tell you how they did to do it, it's like, wow, because you know where they were, or which spots they were fishing. You might have looked at those areas in the training and stuff, and it's like instant aha surprise. It's like it's super cool. I learn a lot by doing it. Yeah, me too. So I always pay attention for competition like the rest of the teams and stuff, and try to learn. If you didn't figure out, you can always learn something. So yeah, for sure. That's really good. Okay, I think like we're gonna talk a little bit about live scope in general, because it's quite a hot topic, and also you have some cool stories about big fish. So We're going to talk about that in a little while, but first, can I hand you a jelly bean? No. You have the advantage here. You can pick a color.
Oh. Well, this is a difficult one. Can't pick the same color?
No.
So take the green ones.
No. Yeah, take something there.
Well, I will go with this.
Okay, which one is that?
I know that this is bad. Looks horrible.
Oh, you took the strawberry banana smoothie. Or if you're unlucky, it's dead fish. I know Mikko, he got this one. I think this was one that he threw up with because he got the dead fish. He said in the beginning, I hope I don't get the dead fish, and he got the dead fish. So, okay, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
I had a good one.
Yeah, I think I got the good one too, but it wasn't really good.
Well, mine was quite good.
It's not. Yeah, but because it's better than dead fish.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
suppose.
Yeah. So we are quite lucky today with candy.
Yeah, it's not going the way I thought. So live scope angling has become quite a hot topic in several countries, but it feels like here in Finland, it seems to be more recognized like a fishing technique like any other.
Yeah. Well, in the first 1 or 2 years when live scope came out, many people didn't like it. They dislike it, but nowadays it's like just feels like it's normal fishing, and people don't complain about it that much.
It's more like, I don't like trolling.
Yeah.
I don't like live scope.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
There is maybe some people that just think it's not for me, and but they don't complain anything about it.
Yeah, that's nice. We have, people debating and stuff like that, but I just think that people should mind their own business, and if people are not breaking the law or whatever, it'd probably be okay. Because people are not killing more fish or whatever using it. Some people don't know how to handle sanders. We had one incident last year when someone went around on one lake and they found a bunch of dead sanders, big sanders, after one person there had been a good result, and they blew up and just came down to live scope killing fish. But
yeah, it actually happened here in Finland as well.
Yeah.
But it's, like you said, it's more about you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you are aiming your fishing for big fish, you should take a read before you go fishing, and just to learn a bit, just to not make any harm for the big fish.
And in Sweden, we've also had people like being really upset if people fish pike in the summer, and people think like fish perch or sander instead for fishing pike when it's really warm in the water.
Yeah.
But sanders are very, very sensitive for warm water.
Yeah, they are. I personally think the pike is sensitive as well when it comes up like more than 25 degrees on the water.
Yeah.
But sanders are definitely sensitive fish in many ways.
Yeah. People think that you can net a sander, leave it in the net, take some pictures, put it in the net, weigh it, put it in the net. Doesn't work that way.
No, not in any time of year. I think you should always be fast as possible with sander. It's super sensitive fish.
Yeah. It feels like they get so stressed they don't even breathe when they lay in the net. So just quickly handling, especially in the summer.
Yeah, it's super important with the sander.
Yeah.
Don't spend time with the fish. Even you have your trim fishing the net, you should still keep it on your mind. You have to be fast.
Yeah. That's the bad part about sanders, but because every time I catch a big sander, you only spend a couple of seconds with it, and then it's gone. Because a pike you can keep in the net, and they can basically have a good time in there. But a sander, they practically die.
Yeah, just to take a quick look and measurements and photo, and that's it. And nothing extra.
I remember when I was fishing sander the most, like 2015, 16, I had, like, before I started fishing, I put up the weigh mat, the scale, the measuring tape, the net, the camera was on a tripod, everything was ready, and then
that's a good tip for many people. Just make everything ready. So that helps a lot when you have the fish in the net.
Yeah, because zander will die if you start picking those things up when you catch it, after you catch it.
Yeah, and it comes even more important when you fish it more deeper.
Yeah.
More deeper it goes, less time you have with the zander.
Yeah, they're very sensitive.
Yeah, for example, if you caught a fish from 8 meters, you don't have much time to spend with the fish.
They're very sensitive.
Yeah.
We don't have a rule like from scientists in Sweden really, but like the general rule for zander anglers have been never fish on fish deeper than 10 meters.
Yeah, same here.
It is?
Yeah, same here. And some people take it like 8 meters, but mostly 10 meters. But fishing zander from 10 meters, I cannot recommend it for everybody because you have to know what you do if you catch it from 10 meters.
Yeah.
It's so deep. It's doable, but you really have to be fast, I think. 5 minutes from 10 meters, it's most likely gonna die. If you keep it 5 minutes in the net or something. So more important, it goes more deeper you catch it.
Okay.
Like to be fast.
And also you have to take in consideration what I noticed when fishing zander, even if you find the fish maybe on 8 meters, it could have been like down on 14 meters just before and it went up to its max, and then you catch it and then you pull it up all the way to the surface. That's basically like pulling it from 14, but there's no way of knowing. But if it is very deep area you're fishing and you find a fish on 8-9 meters, it could have been standing on much deeper water just before.
Yeah, you can't know it before that. And one really important thing is if you catch a zander, don't release it more shallow water. I've paid for my mistakes once. I catch a zander from 7 meters, quite nice fish, like 6-7 kilos or something like that. And there was some wind, and I was taking picture of the fish or measurement or something, and the wind pushes my boat more shallow, like 3 meters.
Okay.
And I release the fish, and it comes up really muddy and dies. So release it as the same depth.
That's a really good tip, actually. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But
you can really see it. I could see it on the fish that he tried to dive more deep, but there was no water and it was covered with mud, the whole fish.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. I've never thought about it. It's very unusual to drift in that extreme, much more shallow like that, because normally it maybe is quite deep around where you catch it. But that's a really good tip.
Yeah, there is many kind of lakes, and it's not always like that. But yeah, that's something that people should know if they go zander fishing.
Yeah, that's really good tip. Do you have anything else that you're thinking about, like that people should know about zander fishing in general?
About handling the fish, I think that tip and that you have to be fast as possible. That's the two main things.
Yeah,
zander fishing, if you care about the fish.
I said before that there is one really big pike that you caught. Mm-hmm. Can you tell a little bit about the story?
Yeah, I think you mean the 131 centimeter pike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite nice fish, and I never forget that because there is a nice story behind the fish. Well, maybe it's like 3 years ago or something like that. 4 years ago, we went exploring new lake, quite a small lake, with my friend, and it was winter time. So we went ice fishing, like ismet fishing.
Yeah,
maybe more. You know better.
You know one more Swedish word.
Yeah, but we actually use that name in Finland as well.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Anyway, we went ice fishing, and my friend caught this monster pike, 1 meter 28 centimeter and exactly 16 kilos.
Wow.
A massive fish. You don't find that size pike in most of the lakes. That's
No, that's
super
an
big.
unusually big pike, especially from a small lake.
Yeah, super small lake.
Is there rainbow trout in the lake?
No.
No, so this is a natural pike.
Yes.
A
Yes,
natural
and it's
pike.
like, well, maybe 800 meters long lake or something like that. And there is actually.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's not the only big fish in that lake. That's the biggest one, but there is also some over 10 kilos. So
Wow.
in that
It's
small lake.
800 meters long.
Yeah, something like that. Super small lake.
And like normally when you hear about a lake that small, it's because there's rainbow trout in the lake and they grow absurdly big because of that. But this is a natural lake and the fish and the lake is not deep, is it?
No, I think 4 meters is the deepest part of the lake. Yeah, definitely you don't need deep lake to get the pike grow big.
No,
I proved
but
it many times.
It's
But-
just so everything is so little.
Yeah.
Small lake, shallow lake, it's so crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, about the pike. Well, we fished there maybe 1 or 2 times after that, ice fishing as well. And then kind of like forgot the lake. We didn't go fishing there anymore because we felt like maybe we hooked all the best pikes and then it's not that interesting anymore for free time fishing. But anyway, it took like 2 years after that. I was in competition, European Pike Masters, and we was in the qualify situation, our team. And we need a big fish to make it through to the finals. And then I came up with this idea. I remembered this pike in this small lake. Maybe I can catch the same pike after 2 years. So I went to the lake with my small fiber boat and I found that fish. And
So you scanned the lake.
yeah, I scanned the whole lake and I found the fish. And I was sure that this is the one. It's so big on the screens that I know that this is the same fish for sure. When I got it, it was standing like 1.5 deep, 1.5 meters deep on the bottom. Well, I found the fish and it wasn't that easy to catch for sure. I tried like to cast everything I had with me and I didn't have any reaction. So I tried the classic sharpshooting with the small lure, 20s. The small 20s is 14.5 centimeter lure.
Yeah.
Well, I dropped that in the front of the eyes of the fish, and I took it very like gently. So
It was 1.5 meters deep.
yeah, standing on the bottom, and then I set the hooks, and it was basically like a wall. And then really long and heavy head shakes, and then the crazy fight began.
Wow.
Yeah, what ended up we had to fish on the net and prove it was the same fish from the. You can prove it with the same.
The markings.
Yeah, markings. Yeah,
And how big was it when you caught it?
it was 1 meter, 31 centimeters, and 16.4 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a crazy fish.
Yeah, that's second heaviest pike I caught, and really big fish.
But has
At the time, it was my personal best.
at the time.
Well,
But did you go back to? Have you gotten back to that lake anymore?
no,
No?
because I know the fish that lives in that lake, so it's not that interesting anymore.
Yeah, looking for new challenges.
Yeah,
But you caught bigger pike.
yeah. After 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something, it was quite crazy time. I was doing a lot of competition and spending a lot of time training, and it was actually Hawk Open
Okay.
when I did catch this monster pike with my friend. That was the all-time biggest pike in Hawk Open, all-time heaviest and longest pike caught in Hawk Open, and that was 1 meter, 30 centimeters, and exactly 17 kilos. Crazy big fish. I think I will never beat that record, I think, myself.
That's insanely big.
Yeah, super size pike.
Was it casting or vertical fishing?
That was casting, quite
was?
shallow water, like under 1 meter water with perspective.
Less than 1 meter.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Was it also a small lake?
No, that one was like middle size, maybe 3-4 kilometers long or something.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Super crazy.
Was it a difficult fish to catch, or was it very eager to bite?
Well, we tried it quite a long time. At least 4-5 different lures. But when it came after the lure, it took it really, really good. Like crazy take.
Wow.
And maybe 3 seconds and the fish is in the net.
Oh, that's so crazy because you use your freaking...
at that shallow water and casting, you can pull it out much faster than if you catch it from deep. You cannot pull it out that fast on the net. But on that shallow, just don't let the fish turn and you're fine.
Yeah, that's so crazy because a normal person would probably release the drag or something, but that's just crazy what you're doing. It's super cool. It's a different way of fighting the fish. I'm not used to hearing. I haven't really heard anyone else use that technique, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, I heard it many times. People say that what's the fun part doing it, but it's more about the competition fishing. You do it on the way that you think it's the best way to land the fish. So it's more about that.
It's effective.
Yeah, it's a good way to land the big fish.
But it's also good. I mean, the Americans are really good at, if you fight the fish hard, it doesn't get as much lactic acid, and it doesn't get as tired. It's more fresh when you release it. So also for handling the fish is better.
Yeah,
the whole process is quicker. There's less stress and everything. So of course it's a better technique to use, but it's very. It's very. I'm not used to hearing it, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think many people don't do it like that.
No.
I haven't seen any people doing it like that.
No, but I think it's really cool, and I think that people can learn something from it.
Yeah.
But of course, we talked about it. You are very known for your sanders. Mm-hmm. But you do fish everything. Like the past years now, you've been fishing a lot of sea trout, right? Yeah.
That's something new for me, new kind of fishing. So I always like to do something new because there is a lot of things to learn. It's more interesting fishing.
Yeah.
So
it's very different from sander fishing.
Yeah. There is nothing common with those species.
They have the same amount of fins. Almost.
Yeah.
That's almost the closest you can get from the two species.
Yeah, but I do many kind of fishing, like different styles and different species.
Yeah. Also do a lot of asp fishing.
Yeah, I like that as well. It's a hard fighter and quite fun fishing.
It's cool because we have a couple of people doing asp fishing in Sweden, but not very, very much. Like, but it's difficult to say because when you said asp fishing, it sounded really, really much like ass fishing, and it's hard for me to let that go. I can barely talk about it.
Yes, sometimes my English is sometimes never. Actually, my English is not that good, so maybe it heard like that. I don't know.
Maybe I didn't mishear you. You were talking about something else. No, but it's cool because because people recognize you as a live scope angler because that's what they see you do in the competition. Mm-hmm. But there's always more to it. You do what if you're allowed to do live scope, then you'll do live scope. That's of course. Yeah,
competition is a different thing. But like if I think my last 2 years or something, I haven't done actually much live scope fishing for my free time fishing. Only like couple days. Per season, and the rest is different kind of fishing. For example, sea trout, perch fishing, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
When it comes to competition, that's mostly the way to do it if you want to win it.
Yeah, especially here with those crazy results.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about that sander. Your giant sander also from, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Springtime.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Was this a lake that you Did you think that you would find this size zander in that lake?
Yeah, I knew it. I've been fishing there before and seen a crazy big fish on the screens, but wasn't able to catch them. So I knew that in that lake there is monster fish. Actually, a couple of them living on that lake. So I wanted to spend some time and try to catch it. I knew it's possible on that size, but of course, not sure can I catch it. But yeah, it happened.
But I mean, that's also good to know. You tried several times and you fished on those big fish, but you couldn't catch them.
Yeah. Actually, we had quite big fish from the lake before. Quite many really nice fish, but they were nothing compared to that kind of fish on the screens, at least. So there was definitely something. Like I have to know how big this fish is.
So about that day when everything was right, how was that day? Was it like? Did you feel that day that today is a good day when you went out?
Well, I cannot remember anything special feelings before the fishing. But yeah, we went on a big fish chase that day, and we had 3 fish on the whole day. So not many bites, but our average size was crazy, like 13 kilos.
Average 13 kilos?
Yeah.
So what was the first fish you caught that day? So what was the first fish you caught that day? Did it take long?
Yeah, sometime. We had some big fish on the screen, quite many of them, but we didn't get any bites. And but well, then I had this first bite, and it was a crazy take from this giant zander. I had like only a few meters line out because the fish followed my lure some way.
Was it casting?
Casting, yeah, casting with the light scope. And this fish followed my lure quite time, and close to the boat, it take it with brutal force. Like, I mean it, brutal. Yeah, and with my style, of course, I tried to pull it on the net straight away, and my friend missed it. And then the fish dive on the bottom. And of course, I have full drag. So but it didn't get any line out. So it was really close that I lose my setup from my hands. So I grabbed the rod all my might and managed to get the fish in the net on the second try. And that was the massive zander, 15.3 kilos.
15.3?
Yeah.
Crazy fish. How long was it?
103 centimeters. Crazy zander.
Just the proportions of a fish like that. You must have seen when he missed it with the net the first time that this is something extreme.
Yeah. When the fish was on the net, of course I was looking like, well, this is massive zander, but I didn't think it's 15 kilos at that point. But when I took lip lock grip of the fish head to get the hooks out, I realized that the head is so big that this fish is over 1 meter for sure. And of course, in that point, I see that it's a super fat fish as well. And then I realized that this might be actually over 15 kilos at that moment. Yeah.
It must be completely insane just holding a fish like that.
Yeah, it's a zander on that size and that fat zander. It's hard to like. It's so high and wide fish as well as
it's built like a carp.
Yeah, it's a crazy looking fish.
Oh, for sure, because it's so insane because it's not a long fish. I mean, it's only a little bit more than a meter if you compare it to a pike.
Yeah,
that is around a meter in length. It's so much more fish.
Yeah, it's it's like 7 kilos more bigger fish than a meter pike. So double size.
It's crazy. And then what happened? You had a quick photo shoot with that thing and kept fishing?
Yeah, super fast measurement and weight and a couple of photos, of course. And then I tried to keep fishing straight away. I tried it, but I didn't manage to focus on the screens. Just I just couldn't do it. So I sat on the bench like 20 minutes thinking what had just happened.
Oh, wow.
But I tried to continue fishing, but I just wasn't able to do it.
What was your biggest sander before that one?
I think 12.4 kilos.
Oh, then that's a much bigger sander.
Yeah, much bigger.
Wow.
Yeah, but on that same day we had 12.68 kilos and 11 point something. I don't remember the exact weight. But 3 really big sanders that day.
With an average around 13 kilos.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's just so insane. As I said, I've been fishing sanders quite a lot, but that's 3 fish that day bigger than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So crazy. Why do you think this is also something very interesting I've been thinking about, because when people talk about the big sanders down in Holland and the big perch down in Holland and stuff like that, it's always like it's warmer weather down there, they have more food down there, stuff like that. But I what I've come up with is it's gene based. It's based on their genes. I mean, they have a lot of food in many lakes, in other lakes than Holland. And if you look at Finland, it's not at all warmer. It's colder than any other lake we have in Sweden.
I personally think that in the more South Europe, like Netherlands and stuff like that, they don't have lakes with this kind of, conditions that are perfect for sander to grow in this size. Of course, it's also about the genetics, but I personally think this is the main reason that they don't have lake with this kind of conditions.
Can you say what kind of conditions it is, or is that too much information?
Let's say it's maybe too much information.
Okay.
But I personally think like that. I might be wrong, but that's what I think.
Yeah, but of course it's a combination of all the factors. If you take a sander from that lake and put it into Lake Vättern in Sweden, it would slowly die. Yeah. Like in the crystal clear water, even though there's a lot of food, it wouldn't thrive there. Of course, it has to be in the right lake, but I think it's a lot of factors. But I think genetics is a very big part of it.
Well, but the sander is growing that length in many different countries, for sure.
Yeah.
Not in every place, but for example, in Netherlands, there is meter sanders, but they are not that heavy. So we have, but mostly in Finland, we don't have that heavy fish. There is some lakes that hold super heavy fish, but it's not in every lake.
No.
You need the perfect combination to get that heavy fish.
Yeah. And you've tried a lot of lakes, and you see that this is not the right combination. Like when you catch the fish and you see everything. Yeah,
for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's actually quite difficult to find these lakes. They are not common in Finland.
No.
They are that heavy.
But also the perch fishing in Finland is quite tricky also, right?
Yeah, if you compare the archipelago fishing, for example, Sweden, it's a totally different story.
That's strange.
Yeah. I've been, since I was a kid, I have been dreaming about the archipelago fishing in Sweden because they're so big fish.
Yeah. And it's not just in, we have Kalmarsund right now that is producing a lot of 2 kilo fish. But for a couple of years ago, it wasn't. The fish, like a 2 kilo fish wasn't at all common. But now they have grown and they're over 2 kilo, a bunch of them. So we've had other places in Sweden that have produced really, really big perch during the years.
Yeah.
But in Finland, around the archipelagos, there's not really those areas, right?
No. Well, first I thought when I was more into archipelago fishing, I thought maybe there is a chance that the Finnish people don't know how to fish the big perch in the archipelago. But now I know it's just not they don't grow that big in Finland, because I tried it a couple of years and spent a lot of time to trying to figure out how to catch a really big perch in the Finnish mainland archipelago.
Yeah.
But I didn't figure it out. Like,
You've been trying a long way up also.
Yeah, like not the whole archipelago area, but almost like half of the Finnish archipelago.
Yeah.
And tried out many different locations and different time of the year, stuff like that, but I just didn't catch that perch on that size. We had on the really good day, you had fish over kilo, but that's it.
And that's such a big difference, because in Sweden you can basically go out anywhere in the archipelago and have chance to catch fish above 1 kilo. Like,
yeah,
it's Stockholm,
strange.
up in the northern parts of Sweden, everywhere.
Yeah,
you can have the chance of catching like a 1,200 gram fish. That's a fair chance anywhere you go, if you fish in the right areas. Like, if you go out fishing like in open areas in the ocean, it's not that easy. But if you find those closed areas, you can find them basically anywhere along the coastline.
Yeah, it's not the same here in Finland, but I think we have much better pike fishing than the Swedish archipelago has.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, I think
much more pike here, actually.
Yeah, so
maybe that's why. Yeah, actually, maybe it's because the pike have the dominance.
Well, I personally, it's actually possible, but I don't think like that, because I know many lakes that there is a big, like smaller lakes, there is a lot of pike and also a big perch.
Yeah.
So I think the pikes actually keep the population healthy and eat more smaller perch, so there is room to grow.
And normally that's the case.
Yeah, well, this is something I haven't think on that way.
I haven't
to be
thought
honest
about it either. But the amount of pike that you have in the archipelago, like last year on EFL, like that area, and also the area we fished the year before, there's a lot of pike, but not as much perch.
Yeah, actually there is a lot of perch, but
not the big ones.
No, not big ones. We have really good number of fishing in many places in the archipelago, but it's quite hard to reach, like over kilo.
Have you heard about any really big perch?
Yeah, a couple of them I know. Quite big, but
like 2 kilo? Or?
No, like 1.7 and 1.8 kilos, something like that. But then it comes to Åland. When it comes to Åland, then it's a different story.
Yeah, we have the big perch.
Yeah, it's included as a Finnish archipelago, but this is actually, we have the record perch from Åland. It's 2.87 kilos or something like that.
It's a huge perch.
I've been fishing in Åland. It's a totally different story than the mainland archipelago in Finland.
It's a little bit more like Sweden.
Yeah, it is kind of the same.
Yeah. That's cool. Now I'm gonna have to think about this some. It's very interesting, this fact, actually.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking now. So let's have a jelly bean instead. Then I'll get my minds on something else. Okay. This will maybe be the last jelly bean in this podcast. Okay. So which color would you want to take now?
This is a difficult one. I managed to pull out the right ones.
Yeah, also
so
me.
far. Just go with this.
Okay, so that's either, I think, barf, like a puke, or peach. Let's see, how did it look, the one you took? Was it this one, right?
No, it's the more brown one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Looks disgusting already.
Cheers, Hannu.
Cheers. This is bad, but not that bad, but bad.
I think I got the peach.
I did got something else. Not that bad that I will puke, but not good.
I'm disappointed. This game is not going like it did with Mikko. Or if you just take all of them and shove them in your mouth at one time.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah. Okay, open your mouth.
No.
So, final question for you. Or maybe not the final, we'll see. What do you think Finland's biggest strength in fishing is, and what is their biggest weakness?
Well, this is hard question. Super hard. Well, do you mean the waters or the skills or?
I think as a sport fisherman, the average Finnish sport fisherman, what are their or just Finnish people that fish? What are their greatest strength in fishing?
Definitely electronics.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I think that's kind of strange because when vertical fishing came, sharpshooting, we in Sweden started fishing it much more early.
Yeah.
And we came to Finland fishing it, and nobody here fished it. Everybody were looking at us. They thought we were drunk because we were driving the boats in circles and stuff on the lake. And we thought,
yeah, for sure.
And basically, so it feels so strange that vertical fishing was several years after, but when LiveScope came, it just exploded here, and people became so good at it so quickly. It's so strange.
Yeah, but I still feel like that. I know that sharpshooting came from Sweden to Finland because I can remember watching the videos and trying to learn it.
Yeah.
And there was only like few people in Finland doing it that time. Yeah, I don't have the explanation for it, but I of course I cannot say that it's true, but I think like that.
I agree with you. It's Finns are extremely good at electronics, but if it came with the LiveScope, it feels like that's when it exploded here. Yeah, you could say like that. It was still a quite small group that done some like more about sharpshooting in Finland before LiveScope. There were not that many people doing it, but after LiveScope, for sure there is much more people doing sharpshooting. Yeah, and the Finnish people have become, like we were talking about the Hawk Open and the results and stuff, and the amount of boats competing. It's crazy. It's really cool. And when I've been fishing with you and see how you handle the boat and everything, I know several really good fishermen in Sweden with the electronics, like Frallan and people like that, and it's really cool to see how you guys do it, because it's very different from how we fish in Sweden.
Yeah.
I think that's
nice to hear. And we have different ways to do it.
Yeah,
I have never seen anybody on, for example, YouTube or anything, Instagram, doing it on this way we do it.
No, I've never seen anything. So, and I don't know, because you do some films and stuff here, but everything is in Finnish, I think.
Yeah.
So that's why we never get to take part. You looked at our videos, but then you make your own videos in Finnish.
Well,
you should make some in English.
Yeah, maybe I should do something, some videos about it. But as I'm a competition fisherman, mostly it's more about I don't want to show it. Just I don't want to make any video about it because I don't want people know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and even it's sometimes maybe looks not that interesting in the videos when I do sharpshooting. It's actually many times I just don't want to explain too much what's happening on the boat. Yeah, to be honest,
a true competition angler.
Yeah.
And what do you think is your weakness in Finland?
I think if I compare the fishermen in Sweden, they are like more precise with the techniques when it comes to pike fishing, when it comes to perch fishing. What I have seen, they just clear, like more precise, and there is a lot of more techniques you guys use, at least what I see on the socials, that the common people in Finland uses. So I think
you think we are more finesse?
Yeah, mostly I think like that. There's like, for example, not many people fishes with offset hooks with perch. I think that's quite a popular way in Sweden. But here in Finland, it's not common. People don't do it that much.
It's hard to fish effectively in the archipelago without offset hooks.
Yeah,
like when you're fishing the weed beds and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the same.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you have to make some videos about it in Finnish.
Yeah, maybe we should do something.
Oh, Hannu, that was a good talk. What do you want to talk about? Some more about ass fishing or something?
Shit.
Maybe we can do another podcast about a little bit more about asp fishing, and it's hard to say now because I really want to put emphasis on the P because
yeah, we had a good talk.
And now we're gonna go back to training a couple of days.
Yeah.
So hard work, long days, sunshine.
Yeah, burned skin, for me at least.
Yeah, but I have some red pigment in my hair, so sun is the enemy.
Yeah.
Okay, Hannu, thank you very much for joining my podcast.
Thanks. It was super fun.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening, and if some of you guys or girls listening are not Swedish speaking, I'm sorry, because all of my other episodes are basically on Swedish, in Swedish. So, but if you would like more English episodes, maybe with guests from other parts of Europe, if you would like to hear more stuff like this, then you could contact me on Time is Fish podcast, _podcast on Instagram. And that's where you can reach out and come with ideas or complaints. Either way. So thank you all for listening, and but see you guys on the lake. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Fishing.